Yeah,
Maybe
time will
looking
tell,
back.
John. But we're going to stay on the WandaVision theme anyway. This was something that came in today, and it's Kevin Smith on his
Yes.
YouTube show. Kevin Smith has a Fantastic Four theory about WandaVision, and I'm here for it. That's the headline anyway, coming in from Cinema Blend. It's just a
Hey.
quote here from Kevin Smith in a recent episode of his Fat Man Beyond podcast. Kevin Smith explains that he thought an early dialogue exchange in the fourth episode of WandaVision could be meant to lay the groundwork. In the scene, Monica Rambeau is talking with the head of SWORD, and he tells her that most of their space exploration is no longer being handled by
Mm-hmm.
humans.
Yeah.
Smith suggested that this dialogue could be there to set the scene for whatever is being done with Fantastic Four. And according to
Or
Smith,
it could be the Kree
somewhere,
or the Skrull, whatever they
well,
are.
there, yeah, it could be. Well, I remember the
The
dialogue, and I remember
shapeshifters.
thinking that along that line as well, John.
Yeah.
I didn't actually think of the Fantastic Four, but Kevin Smith had this to say. Somewhere in there, it feels like the Fantastic Four lies, whether they're not going to send them into space, but instead go into the quantum realm or whatever fuck.
That's
it's,
classic Kevin Smith, really, isn't it?
it
No need
seems
for
like an
that.
unnecessary scene until you really started
That
looking
was an
at the dialogue.
unnecessary fuck.
Not an unnecessary scene, but an unnecessary dialogue until you really start thinking about it, going like, wait a sec, maybe this is just sowing the seeds for that, like, what is manned mission for SWORD? And if so, is one of those missions sent the Fantastic Four into outer space? Fuck, 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 fuck.
Absolutely, I couldn't say it better, Stephen. I couldn't say it better if I was fantastic. Kevin Smith, and I couldn't say it better if I was you. Fuck, fuck, fuck. I love saying that word, and so does Kevin Smith. Stephen, this didn't cross my mind. This could be a potential way of introducing the Fantastic Four in. It could be a nice little origin story without giving us an origin story. It could be that they want to bypass it like perhaps they done with Tom Holland in Spider-Man Far Homecoming. I was about to say Far From Home. You don't get the
Mm.
traditional intro, the traditional origin story. It allows you just to dive right into these characters as established superheroes. They hit the ground running. The other reason this could work, Stephen, is because we did have Joe Russo, I think it was, come out fairly recently and say that the definitive Fantastic Four movie is yet to come. And I think the way he was speaking, it was rather pointed. I know that the Russo brothers are no longer part of Marvel Disney setup, but in theory, I think they're stepping away. They're doing the likes of Cherry with Tom Holland in different movies. But it was kind of pointed that we could be seeing a Fantastic Four movie coming very soon. Obviously not in Phase 4, but could be Phase 5 alongside the likes of Captain Marvel 2. This could be what they're doing. It could be laying the groundwork through Sword in WandaVision. This organisation, manned missions. We know that Fantastic Four got the power from a sort of energy burst, I think it was. That could be a neat way to bring these characters into the MCU. Then when the story comes, the movie comes, you go right in to the action with these guys just wrecking the living shit out of people. Stephen, we're seeing this with WandaVision period. The mutants, talks of Magneto coming in at the end and maybe being Wanda Maximoff's father figure. It may be a I am your father, Luke, Darth Vader moment. This is an amazing little thing they've got going on here. If this is what's happening and people aren't reading too much into it, we're getting origins for X-Men, origins for Fantastic Four within the MCU, and they're doing it in a nice organic manner. I'd love to see it, man.
Yeah, John. Ever since Disney took over Fox, this is what's happened. The theories and obviously, potential storylines have cropped up, and this is probably one of the better ones. I've got to say, especially regarding the Fantastic Four. There is organic ways to do this, and I think you're right. We're not going to see them in the next phase. It will be beyond, but that's not to say that they won't plant the seeds now. I think WandaVision served very well, very much like the Mandalorian has for the Star Wars franchise as well. I
Yeah.
think it's a platform to really branch out into other sort of prospects, and I think with Marvel. They've got so much content, and they've got so much opportunities and options in how to introduce these franchises into the MCU organically.
Mhm.
In an ideal world, it would have been great if Marvel had all these properties already: Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, Fantastic Four, Deadpool. It would have
How's
been great.
I wonder how Deadpool's going to get introduced as well, Stephen. You mentioned
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's going to be a hard one blending
I
him
think
in
so.
with the MCU because he's a completely different
Well, I
beast.
think since WandaVision, John, was released, we're breaking fourth walls,
Yeah.
um, laughter tracks, just the weirdness of it is really opening the doors for anything that's possible now. You look at the sort of rigidness of that first phase of the MCU with the traditional superheroes.
Mhm.
We're such a far cry from that now. WandaVision, I think, has opened it up. It's been the perfect vehicle to introduce the multiverse of madness in the next Doctor Strange film, and I'm guaranteed it's going to introduce some kind of clue to the mutants. It's going to introduce some clue to the Fantastic Four. It's going to introduce some clue to Deadpool as well. I don't just mean WandaVision. I mean the television series.
Stephen, I think Deadpool could come in Multiverse of Madness. It's an alternate reality. He's a very different character. That's how you get him into the MCU. Doctor Stephen Strange steps into that crazy world and unleashes a Pandora's box by bringing this guy back with him. So,
Would be
man,
amazing.
it would
Yeah.
be. I can't wait to see Ryan Reynolds in the MCU, man. It's going to be dynamite. Absolute
Yeah.
dynamite, man.
Yeah. I can't wait, John. But listen, we're going to move on anyway.